Ready to get started. I call this meeting of the Red Oaks Independent School Board to order at 7:01. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551. All board members are present with the exception of John Anderson and Sean Kelly. So, Mr. Knight, if you will start us with the invocation.
Father, once again, we just come before you and say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be here. Thank you for allowing us to be part of this district, Father. Father, we can make decisions based on the best for this community and the best for this district and everyone involved, our parents, our children, our teachers, our staff, everyone, Father, that you watch over us and you know what we do. We just thank you so much for allowing us to be here. Our Lord Jesus, amen.
Do we have a pledge leader? Do not. Okay, Ms. Porter, will you lead the pledges? Absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we're going to go into our recognitions portion. And audience, if you will wait until the recognitions are completed before you get up and leave, and we will give you a couple of minutes when that time comes so that everybody can go at one time. First, Miss Stanford, you're going to take over.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to go into our top hawks for the 23-24 school year. Red Oak ISD has partnered with area businesses to recognize our outstanding students at each campus and our district staff. Top Hawk celebrates those students who rise to the top. Each grading period, campuses select 2 top hawks, 1 boy and 1 girl, from their entire school based on the 4 talents of the hawk. Academic readiness, prepared, grit, character, and service. Each elementary school winner will receive a $25 gift card, and each middle school winner and high school winner will receive a $50 gift card from their sponsor. And thank you to our sponsor for this grading period. Okay, Chick-fil-A, and we are joined tonight by Amelia, who will be presenting the certificates and gift cards, accompanied by Miss Knight. So come on up. And elementary students, if you will all stay up here until every one of you are here so we can get a group picture. So we're going to start with Eastridge Elementary. We have 3rd grader Cameron Smith. Eastridge Elementary 1st grader Camelia Ruvalkba. Red Oak Elementary, Pre-K, Elijah Mata. And Red Oak Elementary, Pre-K, Valerie Lagunas. Shields Elementary, 5th grader, Mallory George. Shields Elementary, 1st grader, Jet Hawkins. Shubman Elementary, 4th grader, Mateo Rodriguez. Shubman Elementary, 3rd grader, Cohen Griffin. Wooden Elementary, 5th grader, Gail Alberto. Wooden Elementary, 1st grader, Liliana Prentice. These are our elementary top hawks, and we're going to get a picture by the district, and then we're going to allow you an opportunity to come up and get pictures as well. So students, stay put. Congratulations. We're going to move into secondary at this time. So at this time, we're going to go to Red Oak Middle School. We have seventh grader Jace Bolden. And seventh grader Malia Ellis. Moving into high school, we have junior Lauren Smith. And sophomore Herman Bacchus III. Okay, we're going to move into our Hawk staff spotlight, from our bus drivers and office staff to principals, custodians, teachers, and more. Our Hawk Nation consists of the very best of the best. Every day, Hawk staff go above and beyond in a variety of ways. Tonight's winner, once again, is being sponsored by Chick-fil-A with a $100 gift card. Congratulations to our Hawk staff spotlight for the sixth grading period, Zach Sandry, teacher at Red Oak High School. We'll make sure he gets that as well. We're going to move into, want me to keep going? We're going to move into our perfect attendance at this time. So Red Oak ISD values the concept of being there, and that goes for the students being in class every day. This year, we celebrate students with perfect attendance from all campuses. We had a total of 20 students from 6 campuses with perfect attendance. Red Oak Middle School had the most, with 6 perfect attendance students. When students are in class, in school and class every day, they excel academically. They have positive relationships with both their peers and their teachers, and a much lower disciplinary rate. All indicators of the future success in college, career, and life. Students were not counted absent for district or campus functions such as UIL performances, etc., but were for disciplinary out-of-classroom placements. Students with perfect attendance will be presented with a Walmart gift card by Mr. Brian Sebring for $50 to celebrate their accomplishment. Please come when your name is called, and please remain standing. So we're going to start with Red Oak Middle School. To Cedric Anderson, 7th grade. Rahina Azra Luna, 7th grade. Noah Olivares, 6th grade. Simone Reddick, 8th grade. Pedro Rico Torres, 8th grade. And Abigail Rowe, 8th grade. We'll go ahead and get a photo of our secondary students at this time. Congratulations.
Hold on.
We'll move into our elementary perfect attendance. We have a 5th grader from Red Oak Elementary, Judah Kennedy. Fourth grade from Wooden, Caden Pochok. Second grader from Eastridge Elementary, Carter Akota Hiranki. Fourth grader from Eastridge Elementary, Zachary Delgado. Fifth grade from Eastridge Elementary, Chabuk Egbulefu. I hope I pronounced that right. Egbulefu. And second grader from Eastridge Elementary, Yochana Egbulefu. Fifth grader from Eastridge Elementary, Macy White. Second grader from Shields Elementary, Haley Graber. Third grader from Shields Elementary, Braylon Harris. First grader from Shields Elementary, Amaya Thompson. First grader from Shepman Elementary, Cooper Eaton. Kindergartner from Shepman Elementary, Abraham Gonzalez. Third grader from Shepman Elementary, Juan Ramirez. And fourth grader from Shepman Elementary, Evan Smith. Is there anyone in the audience who I did not call? I always have a fear of missing one. I have a name right here. No? Oh, he's like, I want a gift card. Mama snatched his hand back down. Okay.
Oh, baby. Poor baby, look at it. Embarrassed, isn't it? Lisa, don't cover your face. It's embarrassed. Smile. Smile.
Awesome.
Hey, we can say thank you to the parents. We got three,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I got three kids, and so I know how much of a pain in the tail it is to make sure everybody gets up and gets out the door and get where we need to be on time. Thank you to each of y'all to make sure they get to school, to learn, and on time, and we appreciate it greatly, and we enjoy having them. Thank y'all.
Yes, thank you so much. No, you're fine. You can always steal my show. That's perfectly fine. Again, thank you to all of you for being there with your students and getting all of them here and working towards that perfect attendance. As if you were here earlier, you would have seen the budget presentation. And a lot of people get hung up on the fact that, well, you just want my kid there for the money. We don't. We want your children here because we love them. We want to teach them. And every moment we have with them, we feel like we can help them to grow. And we couldn't do that without your partnership. So we truly appreciate you.
Yeah.
Now, we will take a 5-minute break. Those of you that would like to leave, this is your chance. But we welcome you all to stay for the rest of our meeting.
Have a great summer.
I didn't see.
Like, how is it really? It's crazy. I can't decide if I'm powerful or if he will be doing something about this air or not.
He was the first one I called. Oh, he said, I'm so we're going to do him, Cedric Anderson.
Oh, got it. Got it. Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay, tonight.
Yeah, I just been on the phone, just dealing with life. Life in this life is like, just like that. It's just, it's like,
Keep John straight.
That's fine, brother, then I'll call him. He was the very first one.
Okay.
Well, you want me to
Angela.
wait, what?
go ahead and
I know what you're
yeah, and then that'll work.
Okay, we're gonna reconvene here. And the first item on our agenda is the superintendent's report from Ms. Sandberg.
Yes, and we missed a student on our perfect attendance recognition. So at this time, I want to call up our 7th grade Red Oak Middle School student, Cedric Anderson, to receive his perfect attendance recognition.
Congratulations.
Hey, I didn't want to run over you.
Good job. Congratulations. And y'all are welcome to go, or you can stay for the rest of the meeting. It's strictly up to you. And at this time, we're going to have Kevin Frills, our Assistant Superintendent of District Operations, for the construction update.
It's coming.
Hey.
All right. Since the May update, we're preparing for an on-grade slab. We're going to pour slab next Tuesday. On grade on the shelter area and the gyms. The water and sanitary sewer connections are complete. We have water and sanitary sewer out there. On-site roads and rear parking areas ongoing. You'll see that. Steel is arriving, and I was told today when I was there, if the weather starts to hold out and we get the slab poured by Tuesday, by July 10th, we may see vertical construction. We'll see. All right, so here's our little time-lapse photos, and we get a new one tomorrow. Just didn't make it today. There's everything. And right now, they're actually in, they should be done with the pier drilling. They're already over here in sections A and B. They should be done with piers this week. If tomorrow, James is going out with the bird tomorrow, but if we'd had that picture today, you'd have seen that all these grade beams are going to be done very quickly because they're going to finish the piers here hopefully by the end of the week. There's the roads, the back roads, parking lot. There's the fire lane going in on the north side. There's a rebar, and they've already poured. So we've got concrete on the ground. This is that one little special area that we've been taking pictures of for you to get a kind of a time lapse of right there at the corner of the two gyms. First started like that, the forms were done. We poured on the right, they've steel and formed it out on the left. Now it's all poured, foundation, and they're now got the forms up for the on-grade slab. So that'll be next week. That was Thursday. They were starting to unload steel. And this is an important picture. Welcome to Red Oak Middle School number 2. That's the front door. We'll see how it transitions over the next a little bit of time. That's it. Any questions I can answer?
Just for public knowledge, we're still on our timeline for December of
2025. That's the projected completion date. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you. And at this time, I just want to do a very quick recognition as well to Dr. Johnston and his business office. So TASBO has given the Red Oak Independent School District Business Office a Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for the fiscal year ending in 2023. This award represents a significant achievement and reflects your commitment to transparency and high-quality financial reporting. So, Dr. Johnston, if you would come up for a quick picture, and if you have anybody in the business office that wants to come up with you. Ms. Phillips, would you like to come up for the picture as well? No? No? Okay.
Great job.
Thank you.
And congratulations. We really harass them about the award-winning business office, but they do a fantastic job. Very, very proud to have that team at Red Oak ISD. At this time, also, we're going to have Ms. Vicki Ibarra come up, and she is going to give a report on some feedings.
Okay. So I'm just going to explain a little bit about a program that Red Oak ISD is going to move forward with. We are applied for and approved for community eligibility provision in our district. What community eligibility provision, or CEP, means is that all students in our district will now eat free breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about the program? Has anyone heard of this program before?
Is it the one we
Is
did?
it different than the one we did before?
Okay, so are you talking about through COVID?
Yes.
Through COVID?
Whenever the lunches were free before.
Right, through COVID, that was just a waiver that we applied for and were granted, it wasn't community eligibility. It was just an SSO waiver so that we could serve free meals like we would in the summer all year. But this program is a 4-year program. It's based on an ISP, which is an identified student percentage. That is based on the students that qualify for free meals based on SNAP or TANF direct certification from the state. What this means is that all students will eat free. Our reimbursement is based on that ISP, and each campus has its own ISP. And over the years, I've been tracking that ISP, and in the past, it wasn't a good idea for us to do this. We wouldn't have received enough reimbursement. And another thing that TDA has allowed is you can use your local funds instead of having to use school district funds to cover any shortfall. High school will probably be our shortfall from time to time. We're just going to have to sell more chips and snacks. So high school is the only one. We had Region 10 come out last week to do a review of our application. And they also did a verification of students to make sure that we had our ISP sampling showed that we did have the correct number of students. And they did recommend that we are good to go with CEP for the district. As we go on through the years, if our ISP percentage goes up, in other words, more students who are enrolled in Red Oak ISD are on that SNAP or TANF list from the state, we can report that and our ISP goes up, which means our percentage of meals served at the free rate goes up. And we don't have to report if it goes down unless it's a significant drop. And I don't see that happening because the trend has been that it's been increasing over the years. So I see that it's only going to increase more. And the other way is for us to increase participation of meals. That will help. So I feel like during COVID, our participation increased a lot because meals were free. The other benefit is that we no longer have to be on the phone all day long trying to collect negative balances from parents. So it's a huge advantage, and the administrative burden of having to approve the applications for free and reduced meals is gone. So we will use our time in different ways, and one of those is to promote our meals and market our meals more, so that our students will be happy to come in and get their meal and feel like they, can be a part of the program now and not have to worry about the cost. Any questions?
You said this was a 4-year.
It is 4 years, and then you can renew your application every 4 years. Again, we don't have to report anything unless it's an up in our percentage of ISP, unless it's a big drop, and then our ESC will monitor that and help us keep an eye on it. And this is a grace period year for us, so we can look at it, and if we decide this is not going to work for us, we can get off of the program and go back to it. We hope that's not going to be the case. We don't see that being the case. I think it will be a very positive thing for our district.
So at the secondary level, like right now, they have the plate lunch and then they have the other lines. Will they still have to pay for the other lines?
All of our lines are reimbursable. There are no cash lines.
Okay.
All of our lines are reimbursable. In other words, any meal that they walk up to the register to get is reimbursable if they choose the components that they're supposed to choose. They only pay a la carte prices if they want to just buy a piece of pizza. We will still sell a la carte, and we will still sell second trays or second meals if students want them, but their first reimbursable meal at any serving line is free.
When's the start date on this program?
And it starts whenever we start school, so,
Okay.
yes. And I believe communication is going out on that tomorrow. Now, waiting for it. It does not require board
About 5
approval, but we wanted to be sure you knew before the communication went out what this was and if you had any questions.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you, Vicky.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for researching that.
And that is all I have for district update.
All right. Well, next we have open forum, and I have one person that signed up, and I'm going to call your name, and when you come up, just please state your name. and you will have 2 minutes to speak, and you can watch the timer back here. So I have James Giddings. And just 1 second, because I have something I have to read before you do this. I'm trying to get it. Okay. Okay, we are going into our public comment session, and the board welcomes comments from citizens who have completed the public comment forms. These are accepted prior to the start of the meeting and are not transferable to other speakers. Please be advised that the information shared in public comment is the opinion of the individual speaker, not the district. 2 minutes per person has been allotted for public comments. Please keep all public comments related to school district governance and operations. If you have a specific concern related to an employee of the district or a specific student issue, you're encouraged to utilize the district's grievance procedures provided in board policies on the district website. Finally, remember, the board may not discuss or act upon any issues that are not properly posted on the agenda. Now, you can start when you're ready, sir.
Thank you. My name is James Giddens. I have a daughter at the high school that's going to be a junior this year, and I'm the Red Oak Volleyball Booster President this year. The 2 items I came to discuss involve critical needs of the volleyball program. 2 needs that I've been told that we can only get if it's paid for through the Booster Club or through the Activities Fund. And I'd like to discuss those to see what we can do about having the district and the school district pay for that. The first one is new volleyball nets for the practice gym. We've received a bid for $5,780 to replace the entire system on both nets for the gym. That would be poles, nets, and pads. It's my understanding and through our records that the only time the district has paid for the nets in the system was when the high school was built, originally built. Ever since then, it's been paid for either by the Booster Club or the Activities Department or the Activities Fund. So every net, every pad, and every post has been paid for by the Booster Club or Activities. This is absurd to me. We cannot play volleyball without nets. It's no different than a football helmet. It's no different than a set of shoulder pads. My opinion is that I think the school district should pay for that. The second item is seats in the media room. The seats in the media room need to be replaced. This is where the girls watch film so they can constantly improve. It's my understanding that the Booster Club and the Activities Fund are the ones that originally put that in. Now the seats need to be replaced, and we're being told we've received bids from the approved contractors from the district. The highest bid was $21,712. The least expensive bid from an approved vendor was $5,205. Coach Porter was able to obtain a bid for $1,875. This is the route we would like to go, but I strongly urge that we put it on the docket for next month to discuss so we can have the school district look at paying for these. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Seconds, that's right. So,
Okay, we're going to move to the consent agenda. Are there any items that board members would like to have pulled or considered separately? If not, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
That's a motion by Mr. Knight and a second by Mr. Sebring. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0. And next is consideration of district property and casualty quotes for insurance renewal. Ms. Julie Phillips.
Hello. For the 24-25 fiscal year, we have a proposal from TPS for our property, auto, and liability coverages. According to the attached premium comparison that was, I believe, sent to you all. The coverage through TPS for property and liability will be in the best interest for the district for the 24-25 fiscal year. I always wish that I could come to you with a decrease. However, that is not ever the case. I think I've done that once in 8 years. So there is an increase. If you'll see, it's mainly in property. It's just the market trend. I called our broker today and said, hey, can you give me more wisdom on why that is so? It's just basically it's losses and the market trend of insurance. I don't know if my personal's gone up too. So just the way that it is. So administration is requesting that the board approve the renewal and purchase of district property and casualty insurance as stated for the next fiscal year. Are there any questions?
Do we have any questions for Ms. Phillips? Okay, if not, do I hear a motion?
I make the motion that we approve the renewal and purchase of the district property and casualty insurance as stated above. 1.27328. 29.
Second.
Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Phillips.
Next is consideration of the 2024-25 fiscal year budget. Dr. Bill Johnston.
Thank you. As a follow-up to our 6:30 meeting, it's now time to ask the board to approve the budget. And it's the same budget information that was provided at the special meeting, a total of $97.4 million total budget for all three funds, the general fund, student nutrition, and the debt service fund.
Do we have any questions for Dr. Johnston? If not, do we hear a motion?
I move that the board approve and adopt the 2024-2025 fiscal year revenues and appropriations for the general operating fund, student nutrition fund, and debt services fund as presented.
Second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Thank you, sir.
Motion passes 5-0.
There is a second component that the board needs to approve too.
I also make a motion that we designate the CFO as the individual authorized to calculate to no new revenue tax rate, the voter approval tax rate, and other truth and taxation requirements.
Also second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson.
Okay, next, consideration of the 2024-25 accelerated instruction budget.
One of the things also the state requires is part of one of the allocations that they give us is based on low income student population. They call it compensatory education funds, or they also call it accelerated instruction because you provide those students additional instruction needs. And so they ask that we share that with the board and have the board approve the allocation. So within the budget, there's $3,182,069 budgeted for comp ed, as it's called, expenditures. And so that showed up on the document, of which a majority of that, 90% of that is for salaries, and the rest of it, and that's additional tutors and things like that to help the students do better instructionally, as then some materials and stuff like that. So I asked the board to approve this component of the budget, which was already approved.
I move that we approve the 2024-25 compensatory education budget as presented, with the understanding that additional accelerated instruction has been sufficiently funded.
Second.
We had a motion by Mr. Sebring and a second by one of you two. Sure.
Take your pick.
Okay, we'll go Mickey. By Ms. Porter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson.
Next, we have consideration of memorandum of understanding with the Red Oak ISD Education Foundation. And we will hear from Ms. Sanford and Ms. Karen Anderson.
Yes, the memorandum of understanding is entered into between the Board of Trustees for the Red Oak Independent School District and the Board of Directors from the Red Oak Education Foundation. And it is the 24, no modifications were made from the 23-24, and I'm going to have Sanderson and Ms. Stanfield if they have anything they'd like to present or any
Yes,
questions you have.
thank you. Joining me tonight is Karen Stanfield, our treasurer of the board, and Donnie Lutrick, our president, and they just said I didn't need to do this by myself. They were going to join me this year, so I appreciate that. So it's before you. If you have any questions, there are no changes from last year. We just wanted to bring that to you for your approval.
They do an outstanding job, as you all know. You see it a lot, and we see it year-round in the classrooms. All of the things that their teachers are able to do that we would not be able to do without all of your help. And so we appreciate all of you and all that you do. So administration recommends the MOU to be approved.
I move that the ROISD Education Foundation and ROISD Memorandum of Understanding be approved as presented for the 24-25 school year.
Second.
We have the motion by Mr. Sebring and a second by Ms. Knight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Great job.
Thank y'all so much.
Okay, next we have consideration of purchase of Ingenuity program for Red Oak Middle School and Red Oak High School credit recovery. Ms. Lynn Dockery.
All right, good evening. Thank you for having me. Originally, the data that I put together in this PowerPoint was through from the beginning of the year through May 1st. Since then, I have gotten data that takes us through the end of this particular school year, and I wanted you to have all the data available. So the new PowerPoint that you will see has the data all the way up to May 25th. So that's the one change in here. You'll see all of the complete data. So tonight we're asking for the renewal to the Edgenuity program for credit recovery and grade save. We've come before, almost every 3 years, we come to get a renewal for Edgenuity. Here are the ways we use Edgenuity at the middle school and at the high school. Grade recovery, so that students being able to recover any learning they have. If they might be failing a class, they're able to get into Edgenuity before they get a final grade so that they can save that grade so that they are not, they might be in, it might be looking like they're not going to pass for the year. And so they're able to do a grade recovery through Edgenuity. The second way we use Edgenuity is in credit recovery. So at the high school as well. If we have students who have taken a face-to-face class already, we will then get them into Edgenuity to get a credit recovery so that they don't have to worry about a schedule. Sometimes it's very hard to take another face-to-face class simply because their schedules are so packed. This helps them in the way where they can have a complete schedule and they're just working on a credit recovery to gain that credit back. Another way that we use Edgenuity is through DAEP. So we've aligned all of our classes with DAEP, so our students who are in an alternative education program can get the lessons that are assigned, the same lessons that their peers might get, and so they're not falling behind if they have to be in an alternative educational placement. All right, this is the data that, and the first slide I'm going to show you is for the last 3 years, because this is a renewal. We came to you in 2022 to ask for the renewal for 2021, and so now we're asking for this renewal for the next 3 years. So I wanted to give you the data from the last 3 years, and this is what it looks like. So the number of students that actually did use Edgenuity, and for whether it be for initial credit or whether it be for credit recovery,
Total at the middle school and high school, we had 1781. The enrollments in courses was 5418. So of that 1781 students, they might have had 2 or 3 courses that they had to enroll in. So that's the students, and then the enrollments are the actual classes that we scheduled for them. The average time that they were within Edgenuity, the progress that they made, the average grade of all of our students, and then we had a completion rate of 100%. On the next slide, it breaks it down between high school and middle school for the last 3 years. So for the last 3 years, the high school had about 1,500 students, for about 4,900 enrollments and courses. You'll see the active time, so that gives all of that data just spread out between the high school and the middle school. Then the middle school total students was 267, and the number of enrollments was 488. So then the next slide shows just for the past year. So this gives you just an idea of what it can look like in 1 year. And this is middle school. Once again, this is middle school and high school together. So we had 760 students with about 1,800 enrollments. Gives you the time, the progress, the average grade, and then we had 100% completion for all those kids that were in credit recovery or grade save. And then this is the breakdown for this past year from the high school to the middle school. And then what I wanted to do too is, because sometimes these numbers can look really big, I wanted to put it in perspective. So if you think over a period of 3 years, this is PEAMS numbers from this last year. So in the last 3 years, right, that enrollment has varied. So I took this number from the high school for this past year, 2163 students, times 8 periods a day, times 3 years. Over a 3-year period, that's 51,912 courses. If you look back at the data, we had 4,930 enrollments in courses in Edgenuity. And if you look at that in a percentage, it's 12% of our only 12% of our courses were in Edgenuity. I know sometimes those numbers can be big, but when you put it in a proportionality, it kind of puts it in more of a perspective. And then at the middle school, same thing. I used the numbers from this past year, 1,549 students times 7 periods over the last 3 years equals 32,529 courses. We had 488 enrollments, and that was a 2%, only a 2% course enrollment over the past 3 years. So that gives you a little bit more perspective. I do have, if you want, I do have the year percentages as well. So last year, just in the last 1 year, we had 10% enrollment at the high school in Edgenuity. And again, it was 2% for ROMS for the year. So we're averaging out. That's a really good average last year. This is a really good average. It kind of shows you that we're averaging out at about 10% and 2% each year. And then the last, just some other considerations that Edgenuity offers that we use. So we don't just use this for credit recovery, but there are some really good things that Edgenuity offers that we use as kids go through grade save and as they work in credit recovery. So there are pre-tests. So when kids go into a credit recovery or a grade save, we are able to give them pre-tests. So it gives the teachers a really good idea of where they are so we can focus on what they need. High school teachers have invested a great deal of time in customizing courses to align with what they're teaching, so that goes back to the pre-test. It utilizes instructional delivery methods, so sometimes they're watching videos, sometimes they're answering questions, sometimes they're doing writing with the knowledge that they've learned. So there's a lot of different, it's not just sit and read and answer questions. There's a lot of different instructional methods that they will use throughout that program. We've previously used Apex and Play-Doh, but we have not found another program that's as rigorous as Edgenuity. I did go and get a quote from another vendor that is the one vendor that we really feel like offers the exact same thing that Edgenuity does. And I will give you the quote on that on the next slide because it's quite a bit more expensive. So that goes to this last bullet. If we decide to change products, our decision needs to be made right now. I know that says spring. It needs to be made actually right now for training and transition. Because for the last 14 years, our teachers have been using Edgenuity, our students have been using Edgenuity. So it would take quite a bit of training if we were to change platforms. So here's just a cost analysis for you to look at. So like I said, we've been using Edgenuity since 2010, so that's about 14 years. This just gives you the breakdown of every single year and how much we've had to pay. What they do is they break it into a cost over a 3-year period. So we're not paying a cost up front. We're paying, so for this year, it would be $46,000 we'd pay in 24-25. We'd pay another $46,000 in 25-26, and then we'd pay another $46,000 in 26-27 for a grand total of $138,210. So, if we were to go with our competitor, if you would like for us to do any more research with our competitor, and I looked at a whole bunch of different cost analysis with them, what if we did this package? What if we did this package? We would still pay over $100,000 more over a 3-year period. And we really feel like Edgenuity is a very comparable package to the other vendor that we received a quote from. So that is all I have for you. Do you have any questions?
On, getting a note here. Evaluations, when we look at Edgenuity compared to the other vendors, how do they rank? I mean, as far as overall, what is the word on the street, basically? Who has the best program?
So what they allowed me to do when I look at the vendors is they allow us a dummy account to go in. And so they allow us to go in and look at all the courses. They allow us to look at everything that they have. And when I went in to look at their courses, there's really nothing different that they will give us that Edgenuity wouldn't give us. So really the courses that they create are all based on Texas standards. They all give the different types of instructional ways of kids to learn. They follow a scope and sequence. They follow a year at a glance. They have curriculum documents that lay out what the students are doing. I couldn't find any differences that they had that would warrant that much of a cost difference.
And we've been using Edgenuity for 12?
Since 2010, so for
Okay.
14 years.
14.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've been with them quite some time. The drawback of changing is reteaching.
Yes, sir. We would have to do training. So we would have to, I know Sarah Shoemaker is one of our, she uses that quite a bit in credit recovery at the high school. And, she would have to take training. We have teachers at the middle school that work with Edgenuity that would have to receive training. It's doable. We would just have to, students would have to learn a new platform. Teachers would have to learn a new platform. We would just have to take the time to make sure that happened.
Yeah, I know there's other vendors out there and they promote, but when we have something that works, you don't want to make changes unless you just absolutely have to.
And I will say at the high school, so I did ask Sarah Shoemaker at the high school, I said, can you give me some feedback on Edgenuity? What do you think? You're in it all the time. And she said she thinks, excuse me, she said, I think Edgenuity is very beneficial for credit recovery. Our students who need to work in a space, it's not a traditional classroom, so it gives them the peace. Sometimes they do better. We have a lot of students that do better in a credit recovery or in a grade safe environment where they can just focus on what they need to do at their own pace. And so she feels like the program works.
Yeah, just as long as it's, the main drive behind it is the child, to educate the child, to make sure we're doing everything we can for them. And this is an avenue.
And this is, right, helps in graduation too. So some of our kids who, in fact, in summer school, we have kids who were on Edgenuity so that they could graduate with their cohort this summer.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you.
Is this easy to, like, for modifications for those students in SPED? I know it's a computer program. There's modifications that can be made with it as well, right?
Yes, so they have, they can have it read to them. They can do the highlighting. It's almost just like STAR for any or any accommodation they can get on a STAR test or any program, they can get within Edgenuity as well.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do need y'all's approval on it.
What?
Okay, so if we have no more.
And the only reason, let me just share why, because it's $138,000, so it's over the 50,000. Even if we are splitting it up and it's each year, it's not 50,000, we still wanted to get your approval on it.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to renew the, renewal of the education, Edgenuity program through the imaging learning, as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Knight and a second by Mr. Sebring. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. And motion passes 5-0. Next, we have consideration of the purchase of a box truck from the 2023-24 budget. Ms. Yarborough.
Good evening again. I am asking to get your approval for a new box truck for our student nutrition department. This is the second box truck we've had in probably 15, 20 years. We replaced an old box truck with another old box truck in 2016. And because we have our excess fund balance, TDA has approved a purchase of a brand new box truck for the delivery of our commodity foods out to our campuses. Texas Education Code states that contracts valued at $50,000 or more in the aggregate for each 12-month period are to be made by the method that provides the best value to the district. Thank goodness we have Julie, our fleet guru, who does our procurement for our fleet vehicles. She got a great price on a box truck for us. Due to the age and condition of the current box truck used for our department, the need to purchase a replacement has been identified, and we will use this truck primarily for our transport of food from our warehouse here in the back out to the campuses. We receive responses from MHC Kenworth South Dallas, Southwest International, and Industrial Power LLC. Proposals were received from those three vendors and evaluated for overall best value in pricing and service for the district. One vendor was selected for recommendation. The total price is $137,788.21. Purchase will be made from the excess fund balance using 2023-24 student nutrition funds, and this purchase was approved by TDA as required. We recommend purchasing the 2025 Kenworth T280 26-foot box truck with liftgate, available for immediate delivery from MHC Kenworth South Dallas, and we will be using the buy board contract 72323.
What's current age, the one we have now?
It was purchased in 2016, but I believe it was a I would be lying if I told you, but it's probably at least 10 years old. The lift gate on the back doesn't really even hold a pallet very well. And it tilts down when you get on it, and it's just not very safe.
Not safe.
No, sir. The new one has a great lift gate on the back. We can put a pallet of water, which is probably the heaviest thing that we transport. Plus, if we get equipment that we purchase, we can move the equipment from the warehouse out to the campuses, which saves us money because we can have one drop shipment here, and our box truck can deliver our equipment out to the campuses, and then that saves us money as well.
will we still use the old one for anything? Do
I
we
bel-
sell it or what
I
happens?
believe
to
we
the-
would want to put that in auction. I don't feel like it's safe for anyone to really use in the district. I'd feel safer, disclosing that it might not be the safest lift gate, but putting it in auction.
Smart.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, if not, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that, we purchase the 2025 Kenworth, the T280. It's a 26-foot box truck, with lift gate. It's, as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Knight and a second by Ms. Porter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And last but not least, consideration of purchase of cargo vans from the 2023-24 budget.
Ms. Phillips?
Ms. Phillips. That doesn't look like Brent.
Yeah, I couldn't get that going.
You shaved.
Okay, the purchase of 2 Chevrolet Express cargo vans will be made to replace aging fleet of maintenance vehicles, avoiding costly repairs to existing vehicles, which, at some point, that just becomes a waste of money. They're at least 10 to 15 years old, what they have going. Vans will be used primarily for HVAC and electrical maintenance staff, and if approved, will be made using buy board contract 72423. They are $40,007.50 each. They will be funded mostly from the maintenance budget for this year. We've been trying to get these all year long, so they are finally now here. And a little bit of insurance proceeds from a totaled vehicle from earlier this year. So, administration recommends purchasing the 2024 Chevrolet Express cargo vans from Gunn Chevrolet for a total of $80,555.
Are they already upfitted?
I'm sorry?
Would we transfer the upfitment of the toolboxes and stuff that are in current, or are they already upfitted? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, do I hear a motion?
I move that we purchase the 2024 Chevy Express cargo vans from Gunn Chevrolet for a total of $80,555.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Sebring and a second by Ms. Knight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all have had your information items in your packet. Does anybody have any questions or discussion on any of those? No? Okay, then the time is 8:05 and we will adjourn into closed session pursuant to multiple Texas government codes as listed on the agenda.
Thank you.